Hey, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Schroeder. I'm not sure if you're going to be getting this tonight or if you'll be getting it tomorrow, but I wanted to bring to your attention some stuff that Jeff Perez and I were discussing, and it's a strategy that's being used by real estate professionals and builders. I'll talk to you about that, but it's what's called a buy down, and there's all kinds of versions. There's different types. There's 1-0 buy downs, 2-1 buy downs, 3-2-1 buy downs. And I'll show you just a little bit about that with you here as we move forward. But I just want to give you a quick rundown on what it is that we're talking about. So 3-2-1 buy downs. And let me just slow down a little bit. I'm Carl Stryker. I'm with C2 Financial. I've been in the industry about 30 years, and I really appreciate what Jeff is doing, trying to bring a higher level of conversation to you, his clients. And we'll see if this is something that may resonate with you and help make your property more attractive to those other homes that are in the market for sale. And how do you differentiate yourself? How do you make a mark to grab the attention to some buyers? And I'll explain that here in just a second. So 3-2-1 buy downs, or a 2-1 buy down, or a 1-0 buy down. Okay, we can do a couple of different scenarios, and you'll see that here as we move forward. But what's it all about? It's basically coming up with upfront money to artificially buy the rate down for the next 1 year, 2 years, or possibly 3 years for that buyer. And there's some really good strategies around using that and why it's beneficial to you as a seller and how it may help you. So the next piece of it is, how do they work? I'll explain that in the slides ahead. And then, is it right for me? Now, it certainly is right for the builders. Home builders are using this as a strategy. San Diego Union Tribune had an article. I just picked this up this weekend, and it was talking from Tri-Point Homes, and they were saying, we're bringing back the low rates that you love, right? Everybody's been concerned because the rates have shot up and it's slowed down the buyers. So what some of the builders and some of the other folks who are selling their homes in today's market are doing is they're actually using a buy down rather than taking a price reduction on the sales price of their home. Imagine a builder, if they take a $10 or $20 or $50,000 price reduction to try to move inventory, everything else in their community is going to be dropped down in value. And it takes a long time for them to pull that back up. So they give away upgrades to the home: carpeting, flooring, counters, different things like that. Or in this case, they're using their money to buy the rate down to make it more attractive to the buyer, and it benefits the buyer greatly as opposed to just taking a price reduction. So it is truly a win-win. It's good for the seller and it's good for the buyer. And I'll explain a little bit more as we move forward. So let's just look at this quick example: $520 loan amount with a $650 purchase price. Now, I pulled these numbers together. Rates are actually trending a little bit lower than this right now, but I put this scenario together yesterday. We've had some change in interest rates a little bit, so we may be a little bit lower than this. But for this example, let's just take a 6.375 30-year fixed loan. The monthly principal and interest payments would be $32.44. You can see that in this slide. And doing a buy down, we're keeping it really simple. If we do a 1-0 buy down, that's taking that 6.375 30-year fixed rate. That's the true note rate of the loan. But their payments, rather than being $32.44, we're artificially buying that rate down to 5.375, bringing the payments for the borrower down to $29.11. And it would cost, to do a 1-0 buy down, it would cost $332.27 a month for 12 months, or almost $4,000 up front. Now, that money gets held in an escrow account. So every time the borrower makes a mortgage payment, and they're only paying $29.11 principal and interest payments, there's an additional $332 that is coming out of that escrow account and helping them pay the full note rate of that $32.44. So that's just kind of a simple example. That's a 1-0 buy down. So it's about 1 point down from the 6.375. It's about 1 point down to 5.375. And the cost to the seller, not the buyer, seller has to pick this up. That would be about $4,000 of an expense. Now, if we expand this and we step it up to a 2-1 buy down, you can see, taking that same 6.375 rate, or whatever the current rate is at the time we have a buyer showing up, we take that 6.375, we buy it down 2 points in the first year, 1 point in the second year, which brings it to a 4.375. You can see here on the screen, 4.375 for all of year one, 5.375 for all of year two. And if you carry that out, what we're doing is we're artificially subsidizing those payments for that borrower. So their payments become, rather than $32.44, it's really attractive for them because their payments are based on that 4.375 for that first year. Their payments would be $25.96. Now that's a monthly savings of $647. And that's the kind of thing that gets borrowers really excited if you have a seller who's willing to do that. So here you can see, if you're fronting that money as a seller, you would be looking at $7,700 for the 2-point buy down for the first year, $3,900 for the 1-point buy down for the second year. So the total cost at closing would be $11,000. Now, there's a lot of folks that's enough. You're negotiating on your purchase price. If you were to hold your purchase price firm and you gave $11,000, it's a benefit to the borrower, and hopefully it would be a benefit to you because you were able to motivate a buyer. Now, we can exaggerate this story and take it out a little bit further. If we held the purchase price the same, right? If we were able to keep your home at $650,000 and we did a 3-2-1 buy down, you could imagine if we were talking to that potential buyer about a 3.375 rate, their monthly payments are only $22.98. That's a $945 a month savings for 12 months, cost $11,000. Plus the expense for year 2 and year 3. This would be a $23,000 commitment from you as the seller. So something we need to look about, think about, and talk about. So if it's enough to do, I'm going to back up. If it's enough to just do a 1.0 buy down, that's an incentive, right? The borrowers can get in there 1% below the current market. If we need to, we can go to a 2-1 buy down, and it costs $11,761. And if we had to do a 3-2-1 buy down, right, this would be in lieu of perhaps taking a price point from, you know, if you offered $650 as a listing price and you were negotiating and brought it down to $600 or $610 or $615, if the borrowers really tried to bring you down that far, you'd be better off offering this kind of a scenario, only spending $23,000, and it would benefit the borrower and it would benefit you from helping that borrower become motivated to purchase your home. Now, it's a lot of numbers. I'm more than happy to jump on the phone and talk to you about that, and we can run a number of different scenarios to be able to help you out. But I applaud Jeff for understanding what's going on, asking me to reach out and put this together for you so you also can benefit from the knowledge of what this kind of a program has to offer. And remember, if the builders are doing it, and a lot of the other homes that are selling in your neighborhood are starting to do this, it's something that Jeff can put in the confidential remarks. And it's something that can be in the MLS that other realtors see. And if they know that a seller is willing to participate in a buy down, and the numbers can be negotiated down the road, but all of that stuff is trued up at the closing. So you're done, you're selling the home, and your net is your net, right? So whatever your net sheet looks like, and I'm sure Jeff's walked through that with you, as you go through that process, your net will be the same, or hopefully better, using this kind of a product. So I wish you nothing but the best. Please know that I am here for you if I can assist in any way. Jeff knows how to get in touch with me. We'll jump on the phone and we'll walk through some specific scenarios for you. So I wish you nothing but the best. And if we don't talk, have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Take care.